Um, I understand that Mr. Driscoll will be making a video and audio recording of today's meeting. Is there anybody else who will be making a recording of this meeting? If so, please make yourself known.
Don't see anybody. I think we're good.
Okay. Okay, in response to Governor Charlie Baker's executive order concerning necessity to conduct public meetings in line with social distancing guidelines during the current state of emergency involving the COVID-19 pandemic, all of the Port Council members will participate remotely in today's meeting because their physical attendance would be unreasonably difficult. All members participating via Zoom video conferencing will clearly be audible to one another. As a result of the members' remote participation, all votes will be taken by roll call vote. All right. The first item is approval of minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All right. Mr. George
Falco, aye.
Huss, aye.
Lowell, aye.
Shufelt, aye.
Passed. All right. All right. The next thing is management report. Bob, I guess it's you.
Yep. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
So starting talk about COVID. Now that it hasn't been first on our mind for a while here. Right now, we're running about 90% of the scheduled trips on the Vineyard route that we had planned on running for this time of year. It is 100% of the trips that we would be running on the weekends. On the Nantucket route, we're running about 100% of the scheduled trips, but the trips are being done with a smaller vessel, so it's reducing it to about 92% of what the capacity would be. Our high speed, the INO, we're running that 4 trips a day, but on Friday nights and Sunday nights, we're adding a 5th trip, and we'll be doing that through Labor Day at this point. The service levels, we do expect those to continue through August 9th. Based on the bookings that we have for vehicles, we do need to make some adjustments in the schedule. So we'll be bringing the motor vessel Governor down from Fairhaven, replacing the Woods Hole, sending the Woods Hole down to Hyannis, and the Sankaty back to Woods Hole. So we'll be, at that point, we'll be running the previously approved summer operating schedule through Labor Day. So it'll be a 5-boat schedule Monday through Friday on the Vineyard route, 4-boat schedule on the weekends. And on the Nantucket route, it'll be the Eagle, the Woods Hole, the Gayhead, and the INO. Although the INO will only be running the 4 trips a day most of the time. So that's regarding some service levels, and as we move along here, Mark will come up and we'll start talking about some of the traffic numbers. But our crews continue to do an exceptional job of cleaning the vessel's interiors and in between trips, and again paying attention to all touch points, hard surfaces, and the like. We continue to assign additional crews nightly to perform deeper cleanings of the vessels. Our terminal employees likewise have been doing an excellent job of keeping the terminals clean and doing on a very regular basis. Our buses are being cleaned on at least every 4 hours. The capacities on our buses, we did reduce to 50% of their rating. And I should point out that the buses are generally rated to carry more passengers than there are seats on the bus. So a 50% capacity rate on some of these models actually requires standees. So the newer buses that we have only have 23 or 24 seats, and it's rated for like 62 people, so we're cutting it off at 30 people. The seating capacity on the INO, we're doing that at about 60%. It's 50% of the interior seats and plus the exterior seats on the INO. That's for social distancing. The passenger capacities on the Woods Hole and the Sankaty have been reduced, and just yesterday we were looking at different scenarios on some of the other vessels. The issue we're seeing here most recently is because of the warmer weather, the passengers that previously were staying in their vehicles are heading up above to avoid the heat or also to watch the scenery. Because of that, we're looking at whether we need to be instituting some passenger cutoff based on whether it's good weather or inclement weather. We're looking at that, and at this point, we don't see particularly on the bigger vessels, the Island Home, the Martha's Vineyard, that based on the traffic numbers that we've been carrying, it shouldn't be a problem, but it's something that we continue to monitor. We continue our efforts to source cleaning materials and better practices. We have sprayers that are on order. We have new equipment to disinfect and the vessels, the buses, the terminals. We've been using that equipment here for the past week since we got it. We're waiting for a electrostatic sprayer that we're going to have, so that way the terminals and at nighttime the cleaning crews can use those on the vessels as well. So in terms of it, we've been continuing our practice of having a medical staff come in and perform a wellness screening of our vessel employees before they report for their watch. And then for our shoreside personnel, including the parking lots, maintenance, the administration and reservation offices, there's a wellness questionnaire that they need to complete and to provide to their supervisor before they're given clearance to work. Most importantly, we've told our employees that under no circumstances, if they should they come to work if they're feeling ill, safety of themselves, their fellow crew members, and the traveling public. We received equipment to be able to do non-contact thermal scan of our employees, and we're working to incorporate that into the wellness questionnaire and also into our time clock system, so that way they're able to all on one, so we have make sure that everyone is being checked. The next issue is face coverings and masks wearing compliance. That continues to be a challenge. We have signs posted. We're making PA announcements at the terminals. We have signs posted on our buses. The vessels are making multiple announcements, but we continue to receive reports of masks not being worn. I will say that I think the compliance with mask wearing is very high, but there are individuals that, for one reason or another, are not wearing them or have taken them down. With the warmer weather, as I said, we have people exiting their vehicles to go up above, and we have to remind them that they need to be bringing their mask when they do so. We're not alone in this. It appears that it's an industry issue. As I've had the conversation with a number of other operators throughout, not only this region, but also, New England and New York. And that seems to be a common thread among all of us, is that the compliance with having, even for those private operators that are requiring people to be wearing a mask in order to board, and they have the ability to refuse transit to someone who doesn't have a mask. They're finding that once the people get on board, that there's a tendency for them to drop the mask, and so they have to go around and make sure that people are wearing it. Most recently, with Governor Baker's order requiring that out-of-state visitors to self-quarantine or to have a negative COVID test within 72 hours of entering the Commonwealth, we started sending out emails to all of our customers traveling on island about how to register with the site. We give them the link to the Commonwealth's website, the page on what those requirements are. We don't have the ability to enforce those. It's not a requirement that the people that are traveling from out of state to present it. But we are taking those measures to try to educate our customers in advance, so that way they know what their obligations are. Again, we continue to update our Marine Learning System site for our employees with information on how to be dealing with travel, the whole slew of things regarding COVID, whether there's new testing sites that are available or what the case may be. So I think it's a valuable tool, and I think we continue to get a pretty good response from our employees to be going in and checking that on a regular basis. And Sean would scold me if I didn't point out that we still have the dedicated landing page regarding coronavirus updates, and that our customers should continue to check there, or check our Facebook or and Twitter pages, or e-news as well, about any updates that they need to know about. So for some of our traffic and reservation activity, I'll ask Mark to come up here and walk you through some of those.
Morning, everyone.
Morning, Mark.
All right, Sean, do you want to cue it up, please?
Everybody
Okay.
everyone sees it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Thank you.
Okay, so this is showing the credit card receipt activity since March, and obviously you see the big dip as we've talked about previously in April, and we're right around a little bit over 100% from where we were last year in credit card receipts, but some of that increase is because of the form of payments. People are preferring to pay with the credit card versus the cash. But all in all, our receipts are looking much better than they did a few months ago. Okay, here's our advanced reservation activity from August 7th through October 15th. Next month's meeting, I'll include the total month of October, November, and December. And it's showing that, for the month of August right now, we're at about 96%. For the month of September, we're at about 90% of where we were last year for our vehicle reservations. This graph here gives the numeric breakdown. I left July on this graph so we can look at how August is trending similar to what July did. A little more flatter, but at the end of the day, we'll probably be right around the same percentage for the vehicles at this point. This is showing the net reservation activity for vehicles by day. For the month of July, we picked up about 7,500 reservations compared to where we did last year, but we're digging ourselves out of the hole that we incurred March through May. Okay, and this is showing our actual vehicle travel activity. Okay, where we can see the passengers now are hovering right around 70% of last year, and that's been pretty consistent for the last 30 days or so. And we're seeing a firm trend line for the other three categories as well, if you look at the last month. You know, you have some ups and downs, weekends, weather, but more or less they're hovering right around those same percentiles for the last 30 days or so. And that's probably where we'll be outside of any unknown factors for the next month. Okay.
Okay. All right.
I just did want to just point out, I just want to thank all of our, our employees. They're out there, their dedication and commitment to continue to come in. It's a difficult situation that they're all dealing with, and I think it's a testament to their dedication that that things are going the way that they are. So.
All right, next, I guess business summary.
Ask Mr. Rosen to come back up. Why you left?
It's,
Wishful thinking. All right. For the month of June, passengers carried on both routes were down 42%. Compared to the year before. Vehicle traffic was down 14.7% for both routes, and trucks were down 6.5% for both routes. Year to date, passengers are down 45%. We're down, automobiles are down 29.8% year to date, and trucks are down 21.8% year to date. Parking statistics. Looking at cars, we're down 55% for the month of June, and year to date, we're down about 59%.
So that illustrates that we're not getting as many of the walk-on passengers with the parking numbers being down more than what our passenger counts are being down.
yeah, well, we'll never be able to make up, the loss we had in May and June. All right?
Correct.
Yeah.
That was so large that we really can't totally make that up, but at least we're coming back.
No, and the softness continues to be the walk-on passengers, which is going to correlate to the parking as well.
Yep.
Okay, so for the month of June, we had operating revenues of $10,609,000, which represents a decrease of $3.2 million or 23% versus the budget. Passenger revenues were down $1.7 million or 48%. Automobile revenues were down $753,000 or 15% versus budget. Freight revenues were down $202,000 or 5.8% versus budget. And parking revenues for June were down $376,000 or 41% versus budget. During June, the vessels made 1,987 trips. This is a decrease of 19% versus the budget. On the Vineyard route, 0 trips were canceled for mechanical reasons, 0 for weather, 320 for traffic demands due to COVID, and we added 2 unscheduled trips and 26 available trips were added. On the Nantucket route, 12 trips were canceled for mechanical reasons, 0 for weather, and 190 for traffic demands. For the month of June, operating expenses were $7,922,665, or down $1.8 million or 18.8% versus the projected amount in the 2020 budget. Maintenance expenses were down $556,000 or 31% versus budget, and that's primarily due to the timing on the Katama, which was originally scheduled to be the June financial statement, which will be pushing over to July. Vessel fuel expense for the month was down $366,000 or 48.7% versus budget. The average cost per gallon in June was at $1.45 versus the budget of $2.21. General and administration expenses were down 12.2% or $269,000 versus budget for the month. So all said and done, the authority's net income for the month of June was $2,599,161. but it was lower by 1,465,000 lower than the original budget estimate. But we did have a net income in June. In year-to-date, our net operating loss for the year-to-date is $20,192,575, or $10,284,000 higher than budget. I'd be happy to answer any questions regarding the business summary for June.
Where do you think we're going to end up at the end of the year?
As we said last month, nothing's, the forecast is still looking the same as the previous estimates, between 20 and 25 million.
Okay.
I would like to point out, though, that, one of the things with the cash situation that we're in, Mark is able to have made transfers to pay for our debt service that comes due in March. So
We'll be making.
we'll be making, sorry. This next coming couple days, they'll be making those. So that was something that, we didn't see, 2 months ago, if you were to ask, we'd be hard pressed to say that we would be able to do that, but cash wise, we were able to make that transfer.
Yeah, and to follow up to George's question from last month, yes, June was a positive cash flow month. July is a positive cash flow month, and we're estimating to transfer about $7 million to the sinking fund for the bond principal payments.
Good.
Mark, can I ask you one question?
Sure.
I probably should know this, but for some reason I don't. When you say that there's a trip canceled due to traffic-related issues, what is that?
He means not enough. He means not enough.
Okay.
Those were this year, we're combining that, plus we revamped a lot of the schedules due to COVID.
Right.
For instance, Diana was running scheduled for 5 trips, we're running 4 trips.
Okay.
We had 5
Yeah.
votes on the Indian schedule, we're running 4.
Okay. So we're not just losing a trip. We're all the folks that are scheduled or whatever
No.
want to go can still be on. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Makes
And-
sense. Thank you.
And as Bob
Mark.
mentioned earlier, we're going to be updating the schedule this coming weekend to what was originally proposed last year, outside of the
Mark.
IAN. Yes.
Mark, can I just make a suggestion? This happened to you last month. You gotta say I&O versus steel boats when you do that, because nobody's thinking about that except me, and I didn't say anything. And
Okay.
I when you have like a number like 100 and something, like everyone's going, wow, what happened over there? But it's really because we didn't run the I&O till June 16th.
Yeah. So next month I'll break down off the
Yeah.
on the
You gotta
IAN
break it
over
up.
conventional ferries.
Yes, you have to do that, because in the Vineyard route, you see how they didn't have any cancellations for mechanical, nothing for weather. That won't be in the paper probably. And
No,
but
never
over-
will be.
It'll never be in the paper. But over here, we reduced Eric too. Just so you know, Eric, the schedule that had the Sankaty run in the middle of the week one, and Mark, didn't we remove that as well for a while? Like, we had other slow boat reductions, but it was early on. It was in April and May.
April and May.
Right. But the I&O, Eric, went from April, I think it was the 3rd, whatever the date was, it was supposed to start, to June, I think it was June 16th, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So that's 4 trips a
Outside of
day.
Memorial Day weekend.
Right. Okay. So that's well into the hundreds. So that's kind of like making us look like we didn't have a boat running like it was 1950,
Yeah.
So,
The IAN by itself, Nat, will equal, 1 trip, 31 each way. So that's 62 trips for the IAN alone.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
For-
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for all this. We've never had to do this before, so I'll get a pass.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
So updates on the projects, I'll ask Mark to come up to the hot seat, because it must be hot because Mark was so quick on getting out of it.
He keeps trying
Good
to
morning,
leave.
everyone.
Morning.
Morning, Mark.
Morning.
Morning, morning.
So maybe Sean could bring up the project Katama. So we have Katama is presently in Thames Shipyard in New London. Right now, actually, the shipyard has no power to it as a result of the storm last night. They're hoping to regain their power today. The vessel is in assembling her back together with coatings. I think this picture, we brought the complete structure, steel structure, down to bare steel and got a coating applications being installed. Next slide. And during the dry dock period, we put a new rudder stock and rudder on the port side, and you can see that along the shafting is in place. We took the anchor windlass off and did a complete tear down and rebuild. She is presently being sent back to the vessel for installation. And we're doing a coating preservation program on the main deck, bringing the steel down to bare and recoating, and that's underway. So as for the Katama dry dock repair cost analysis, we've got into the original contract value was $788,507, and to date we have approximately $350,265 in change orders. The change orders were a result of inspections where with our ISM SQMS program, we're really focusing on preventive maintenance on critical equipment. We've got into overhauling the alternators on the generators. One of the generators, it's one that we've also taken all the fire pumps and the general service pump off the vessel and the anchor windlass to overhaul. And we believe this is going to really help us in the future in having consistent vessel availability on the routes. So right now, the total dry dock contract and change orders is $1,138,762. So any questions?
Nope, looks good.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, update on HMS recommendations. First off, in terms of the engineering resources, most of these items we had kind of put on hiatus here while we were dealing, with the initial impacts of COVID. So, but for the engineering resources at this point, we do have two port engineers, and we have a third port engineer that will be starting later this month. So that way we're on our way to rounding out what those recommendations were in terms of our engineering resources. Regarding our mission statements, and Sean, they want to pipe in a little there, but we have the approved mission statements. Now we're working on making sure that we're getting that properly distributed and put into use, whether it's through e-news or the website, correspondence, and the like. So we're incorporating that as much as possible.
Just real quick, sorry. I see Mark Reese in attendees. I'm going to go ahead and bring him over. Unless there's a second Mark Reese out there, but I'm presuming this is him. Maybe it's not him.
There he is.
Mark.
You're muted.
Oh, no, now it's, there he is.
Unmute, Mark. Well,
Mark,
he
you
is.
there? There he is.
Morning, Mark.
Can you hear us, Mark?
Guess not.
You hear us, Mark?
Yes, I can. Good morning,
Okay.
everybody.
Morning, morning.
Okay, so another one of the initiatives is the SQMS. We did, as I said, that was one of the items that we had previously been working on. We did put that on hiatus. We have had conversations with SMS LLC and the principals there. We have since restarted that program, but as part of it, we are looking at, not only do we have the 3 or 4 month delay because of it being put on hiatus, but we do have crews that are right now full schedule running. That training time and the like is going to be difficult to do. So as part of our restarting of this, we looked at the timeline of the full implementation of the program, and Bill and his team agreed that it'd be best to kind of extend the timeline out to make sure that we do have the buy-in for the program as well, and get it instituted. So, but we have restarted that. The strategic planning, at this point, we continue to have that on hiatus as the staff is dealing with other issues at the moment. So, but we'll be looking at that at some point here, probably in the fall. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. I guess the next is the summer schedule.
Yeah, so in your packet, you should have received a draft of the staff summary along with the draft of the report regarding the petition that was received from 58 Falmouth residents objecting to the proposed 2021 summer operating schedule, and in particular the 5:30 a.m. trip. So as everyone's aware, we did have a public hearing back in June. Regarding that, we have gone through and received additional public comments. We reviewed that comments. There's been comments received on both sides as to the necessity of that trip, either for or against. But at this point, the staff is going to be recommending that the members approved the authority's 2021 summer and fall operating schedules for the Martha's Vineyard route, as provided provided originally, based on our analysis of the petition. One of the issues on the petition was previously we had created a task force and a working group to be working on, the working groups, some short-term noise abatement issues in and around Woods Hole. The task force is more of a longer-term, trying to find solutions going forward. While we had extended invitations to the communities, Falmouth was the one town that acted very quickly on this. The island towns, once they took it up at their board meetings, select boards, or the county commissioners, COVID happened and kind of Stanley got put on hold. At this point, there is the task force has been populated with enough individuals that it'll constitute a quorum on that body. And we're looking to schedule the initial kickoff meeting of that here in the next couple weeks. We're trying to arrange, meet everyone's scheduled demands, even though it's going to be a Zoom meeting. So, and the idea for that is that we'll be using that to kind of find out if there's some common approach that we can be taking to improve the transportation for both sides here. So, sorry. At the later this month at the August meeting, we're going to be asking that the members approve the proposed 2021 summer operating schedules for the Martha's Vineyard route in the form that's accompanying the staff summary and whatever revisions they may determine, that the board approve the authority's 2021 summer operating schedules for the Vineyard route as set forth in the attachments, and to approve the report on the 2021 summer schedules.
Okay,
Move to recommend the proposed operating schedule as put down.
Second.
okay. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Falco, aye.
Huss, aye.
Lowell, aye.
Reese, aye.
Hufeld, aye.
All right, it passes.
Okay, thank you. Next item, and I don't know whether Terry will want to take the hot seat on this one.
I'm sorry, before we move on, do we need a vote to recommend the report as well?
Yes, it was,
Yeah,
that was
probably.
part, yes.
Okay, so it was one vote for both the report and the schedules, Mr. Balco, is that accurate?
Yes.
That reflects your motion? Okay, thank you.
Both, I think. That's what I heard. Okay.
All right. Where are we now?
Morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good morning, Terry.
Well, this is a relatively straightforward, informational only update. So since 2018, we've had, the board and the Port Council have reviewed a number of different changes to various policies involving our customers. And the most recent change to the medical travel policy required us to, we started looking at it, and those are somewhat more substantive changes that we needed to make. So Sean, myself, and Bob went through the customer handbook, got some input from folks, and reviewed the minutes from the various meetings that we've had where the Port Council and the board have approved these policy changes. And essentially, we just went through the whole handbook and made a bunch of grammatical and editorial changes and updated the policies where necessary. In the status summary, I have the 5 substantive changes that were approved and the dates that they were approved. And so the purpose of this is just to inform yourselves and the board that we've done these changes. They now are in the handbook. And once we review this with the board on the 18th, we'll be uploading the new and improved customer handbook onto the website. So that's basically what it's all about.
Do you need a vote on this?
No, this is for informational only because these policies have already been approved. It's just we're finally getting our act together and getting around to updating the book. So there you go.
Terry, is there a possibility that we can produce this as a nice pocket-sized paperback, and I can carry it around all the time, so when the customer stops me on the street, I can pull it out of my back pocket and give them the answer?
I'll leave that for Sean. He can put that in his budget for the communications directors, and we'll talk with Sean about that. But
It depends on how big your pocket is, Mr. Balco, but we can come back around to that.
you got some real big pockets there, so yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, I
Put it
think
on your
to have it
smartphone. On your
have
phone
it as
would be
a
good.
handbook would be pretty nice, actually, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if, and if you, before you go to bed, if you read the handbook, you see anything in there, just let me know and we can update it further. Okay?
Yeah, great. All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Any questions? Anybody else?
Oh, good.
All right. Solar panel feasibility study.
Okay. After we last met with the Port Council, we had a meeting with a consultant regarding the possibility of putting solar panels over our Thomas B. Landis parking lot in Falmouth. We had those conversations initially back in March with the consultant, and we placed it on hold in light of the COVID issues that were going on. But we reopened those discussions with them because this is a potentially long-term project, but it also is a potential that it could be a long-term source of revenue as well. So
Yep.
this is we informed the board at their meeting a couple weeks ago, and we just wanted to update the Port Council regarding this. So we've entered into an agreement with Jones Lang LaSalle as Americas to perform a feasibility study for a solar project at our Thomas B. Landis parking lot. They'll be looking at that. This company has done similar projects for other governmental entities, including the MBTA, Washington, D.C. Metro system, as just to name a couple, in which they're able to utilize, evaluate what the potential is to be utilizing, in this case, a surface lot that we have. The lot itself is located next to the Falmouth transfer station. They already have a solar project on there. That was phase one. The town of Falmouth just recently awarded phase 2 of that solar project, so they're going to be putting more there. So there's going to be, we need to be looking at this project in terms of what's the capabilities of the grid in that area to be able to take any energy that would be generated. What would be the impacts in terms of our parking operations? It's going to be potentially a canopy system, so therefore, make sure that it's not interfering with our parking, stormwater management, and the like. So they'll be going through that and presenting us with their recommendations in terms of the feasibility on what this project the viability of this project and what the next steps would be if it does turn out to be a viable project. So, but something that we felt strongly enough that we wanted to go ahead and start doing this. So.
Wouldn't there be also an upside to that, because there'd be basically protected parking underneath those for our customers?
Yes, there would. Yeah, and so there are some benefits. There are some benefits there. The location of that lot, it's adjacent to the tech park. So it's we feel it's going to be a good use of 19 acres. So.
Great. Good idea.
Okay. You don't need a vote, do you?
No, this was just for informational purposes. And again, we hadn't settled on this at the time the Port Council met last. So even though we've notified the board about this at their meeting, I just want to keep the Port Council up to date.
Good, thank you.
Right.
Okay, mobile ticketing application.
I think Sean and Mark will have the.
Yep, I'm going to share my mobile screen here. Just give me 2 seconds. Mark, you want to start covering for me for a minute?
Sure. Okay, right now we're in the QA, quality assurance, on the mobile app before we roll out. Just a couple different things that we noticed that On, for instance, Samsung Internet Explorer, it works a little differently than with Chrome, which is Google, when it adds it to the Google Wallet. Originally, we were slated to roll it out early this year. We made a couple enhancements to make it all on one screen. Another enhancement that if you're using your phone, we've implemented Google Pay and Apple Pay, so you don't have to remember your credit card information. It'll automatically bring that with your personal information, such as email address, phone number for the delivery of the ticket. And we've also been able to do it all on one. The big thing is putting it on one screen. Instead of going to multiple steps through, it's pretty simple. You pick your island, pick your round trip one way, the amount of people traveling, and if you have a Google Pay account, you set Google Pay, it'll automatically populate your credit card information. If you don't, you can hit other payment and manually type in your information. Also, you will be getting an email for your ticket, but instead of waiting for the email, we'll deliver your electronic ticket right to your phone instantly, or within seconds, I should say. All right, Sean, if you want to walk through the process. Sean, you there? Okay.
Sean?
So I'll walk through the screen now. So what you choose, right at the top, you have both routes on the same screen. So you pick either the Martha's Vineyard or the Nantucket route. You would either then select for the fare round trip or one way, using the plus or minus buttons on your phone to increase or decrease the amount of passengers that you'd want or bikes. And Sean just put 2 adults and 1 child. The total automatically calculates, and then you'd enter your form of payment. And this is a test credit card, so it can't be used in the live environment. So
Stop writing it down.
yeah. So you get confirmation, reservation number, you save it to your wallet. If you open the app, your passes will be right in your phone. And the nice thing about these tickets are there's no barcode on the phone. It's using the same technology as Apple Pay and Google Pay, near field communication. So you hold up your phone just like you would with the 10 ride cards you had, or using Apple Pay or Google Pay at the terminal. So it eliminates the screen washing out with the barcode or trying to line it up with a reader to automatically grab it. But you can use a barcode if needed. If it's around, Sean, if you go back to the phone real quick, 1 second.
Okay, hang on. I don't know why it was muting me. I apologize.
So Sean bought a round trip, and on the phone, it says 2 rides remaining, which is a round trip. Once you use it once, it'll reduce that to 1 ride remaining. For the Apple phones, we have the terminal locations geofenced. So that meaning that when you show up to Vineyard Haven, Oak Bluffs, or Woods Hole, it'll automatically pull up your ticket on your phone for you, as well as Hyannis and Nantucket. So you don't have to go look for it in your wallet. And then once your ticket's used, you'll get notified that you used 1 portion of your ticket.
Are you going to be running this sort of training video either on your normal website or possibly at the terminals or anything like that, so people can watch how to do it?
Absolutely. We have a YouTube video made, George. Good question. So to work through the process, we can also put a slideshow to walk through it. And we're in the process of Allison's working with her team to make sure the frontline employees are aware how to use it. So if someone has a problem pulling it to their wallet or finishing the transaction, they can assist.
Okay, great.
Okay, it looks good.
So the big thing is
People be
simplifying
happy.
it down to 1 screen for the customer, making it as easy as possible.
Good. Of course, us old guys still won't be able to do it. That's all right.
So what that piece of paper?
No matter how easy you try to make it, right?
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Okay. So if there's no other questions on that,
We'll get Mark to come back.
yeah.
I should have brought my paperwork. I did not time manager.
He's just trying to get his steps in.
There you go.
Okay. Last Tuesday, we had on July 28th, we had a board meeting to go over the annual audit report. We had Dan Bennett, who's the partner representing RSM, who handles our account, along with Tanya Coker-Ferguson, who was the manager for the account, as well as Mike Healy and Chris Hughes, who did the IT presentation. RSM went over the processes they use, as reviewing the internal controls, as well as how it interrelates with the IT department, making sure that the controls are on the computer side as well. They went over some of the adjustments that they made for the year, went over some of the delays that we encountered due to COVID, due to changes with adoption of the new system, changes in personnel. Also, we had a mortality, as we mentioned previously, for our pension fund. We had to, in April, we got notified that their actuaries thought that we should be using a newly adopted table from 2018. We had our actuary rerun the report. We agreed with them, and so we had to make some adjusting entries to record the $2 million liability increase because of the adoption of the new table. And then they talked about at the end of the audit about in addition to the normal audit, we also had to do a single audit because of the federal funds we received.
So this was just being provided to make sure that the Port Council received the packet that RSM had provided, and if anyone had any questions regarding that presentation, feel free to ask.
No, that's great. We're gonna see an annual report.
We got
next
one.
year.
Well, you got the financial statements, the annual reports in progress.
Okay, great.
Good.
I just got last year's, so I'm already looking forward to another year.
Yeah, Mr. Balco, that's on my plate now, and we're in production, so you should hopefully see the 2019 shiny report soon.
Good. Okay.
Were there any, was there a management report that accompanied the audit?
There was no formal management letter. There was a memo that RSM issued to the authority. Bring it with me, did you? And it was primarily regarding, there was a couple, my memory without it in front of me is that the issue was regarding we need to have some separation of duties with some of our grant program administration. That we had the same person that was approving the invoices for payment for the grant program was then submitting those payments, those for reimbursements for the grants. But as he was doing that, there was no double check to make sure that those payments that had been approved had actually been issued. They did not find any issue with that. Everything had been paid. It was just that they felt that there was a possibility there that something could have gotten lost between one department to the next. So we need to have a checkpoint there in which the accounting department is actually, before any request for reimbursements from these grant programs, that the accounting department has to sign off on that first.
Yeah, then there was an issue of just keeping the paper trail of the vendor check for debarment or suspension. We're doing it, just that we need to keep a paper copy of it. Making sure that we have two people approving and reconciling the manual journal entries. One was we use the straight line for bond premium amortization, and the preferred method would be using the effective rate. At the end, it's got to come out to zero, but that's the suggestion. And then there was
that's not a requirement to do that. It's just a suggestion. It's not a significant one, but I think on a going forward basis, we'll take that recommendation.
And we recorded a fuel hedge as a debit and accounts payable for 18 and 19, and then they said it should be a prepaid. It ultimately had net effect the same, but
Okay. And so the management team at the, you're going to implement these recommendations, I assume?
yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Okay. Let's see, what do we need here? Anything else for Mark? Okay, any older new business?
Got a couple things, Bob.
Okay, Nat.
Any news on concessions, Bob or Mark? You know, what we might be doing, like thinking about,
Yeah, so.
yeah.
Yeah, so we met with, Centerplate, the regional vice president for our account, as well as with the local general manager for the account.
Yeah.
The issue that we have is, opening up the concessions is that, particularly on the I&O, that the concern is that we're trying to get people to be wearing their masks, and it kind of sends a mixed message. What we look at it as that sending a mixed message that wear a mask, but if you go to our lunch counter and buy something, that it's okay to take the mask down. So we also have the issue with they have the issue that they rely so much on the J2
Yeah.
employees, J1, excuse me, J1 employees that they don't have. They were worried about their staff, and as well as the their staff, whether they're in that risk category or not. They also would have the expense then of the additional expense of cleaning, maintaining their housing that they have for their employees and the like. So for the time being, we reached agreement with them that we would hold off on reopening the lunch counters at this time.
Yeah.
They are putting in place additional vending machines at our shoreside, be able to do it. They were looking at trying to get a food truck to come down to be able to do it, but the company that they were working with went out and leased it to someone else before they had a chance to get it. So we're looking at that. It did come up at the board meeting because their agreement with the authority includes a minimum guarantee for each year. And based on the fact that we were not allowing them on the vessels, they're not going to come anywhere close to meeting that minimum guarantee. Yeah. So the board, we recommended to the board approved it, that we would waive that minimum guarantee, that in lieu of what's been happening this year, and the fact that they have been the only ones who have bid on this, the concessions contract for at least the last 15 years, that we would extend their contract by 1 year under the same terms and conditions generally that we have.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else there was.
Just basically.
That all makes sense. All of it, Bob. You're answering questions I'm not even asking. But I do have one other question to just, maybe it's come up in your conversations with them. What about drinks only? Has that been thought of? I'm just trying to, the ride to Nantucket is not half an hour.
And we're concerned, one of the things that we're concerned about is that over the years, we have gotten, feedback from customers that, I was on such and such vessel, there was no lunch counter, but I needed something to take my medicine with and things like that. Yeah. And so that's why, at least for the time being, we're trying to approach it from a shoreside perspective, letting people know that the lunch counters are not open on the vessels, and hopefully getting some of the machines in place shore side, so that way they have the ability to grab something beforehand. And I will point out in the conversations that I've had with a number of the other operators, ferry operators around, it appears we are the exception. I think Washington State doesn't have their lunch counters open either, as last I had looked. But I think the other operators have had them, have opened them. So there's no requirement that we keep them closed, but at least for the time being, we'll revisit that as we go along here. If there's some stabilization here, that maybe we can look at reopening those, at least for limited menu items and the like. So
Yeah, no, I was just, I figured that you'd be doing something with this, and I just thought I'd ask, because you got, if things keep going along, I mean, you're gonna have, these people have to earn a living, but it sounds like they're earning more by not doing anything. So that's I get it. And the other question is, I'm not sure who's got the answer, but the natural gas buses, how's that working out? Did we find a place in Boston for those?
Yeah, so the board did approve. Remember last month we went to the Port Council and asked for their recommendation regarding disposal of surplus equipment. The board did approve that. We have since had conversations with one of the RTAs outside of Boston that operates CNG buses.
Yep.
And we anticipate that we'll be doing a sale of those 4 buses to that RTA here in the next couple of weeks.
Excellent.
Good. All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Any other old or new business? I have one item. Last Sunday, my daughter was returning to the island, and she returned much earlier than expected. She had a 5:30 reservation. She got to the Woods Hole, I believe, probably about 11 o'clock. The person in the little kiosk very nicely said, well, we don't have standby, of course, but she gave her a slip of paper with a telephone number. She said, call this and she'll give you a new reservation. So she called and got the person on the phone, and the person on the phone said, nope, we don't have anything. It's all full. Wait till 5:30. And of course, she's sitting in Woods Hole and looking at a boat that's going out that's half empty. And at which point, I of course got a call, so I called a supervisor, and the supervisor said, of course there's openings, and got her one on the 12 o'clock. She said why that person said there's no openings, she didn't understand. But I thought hopefully you could pass that on, that someone, didn't do the right thing.
You said this was this Sunday?
What? Last Sunday, yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm actually going down to Mashpee this afternoon, so I'll be talking with Gina Barboza about this, so.
Well, we also have the issue that, one of the things that we're going to be following up on is to make sure that we do have the blue line on those reservation-only days for island residents, and to make sure that those are the people, if they identify themselves as being part of the excursion program, that they're provided the availability to the blue line.
Right, she is part of the excursion program. She lives here. And anyway, she was very happy with what they said in Woods Hole, giving her the telephone number. It was just the response when she called that number. It was the problem.
Right, and I will look into that personally, so.
Okay. All right. Okay, any other older new business?
None from here.
Okay, any public comment? Sean, anybody raising their hand?
Not as yet. If anyone has public comment, you can hit the raise hand icon if you want to speak. Going once, twice,
Gone.
Gone.
Okay, do I hear a motion? George, you're on.
No.
Muted.
George, you're muted.
George,
Unmute yourself. There you
Move to
go.
adjourn.
second.
I knew you were going to say that.
I can read his lips.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Lowell
Second.
did.
Okay, Nat, second. All right. All right, all in favor?
Falco, aye.
Huss, aye.
Lowell, I.
Reese, aye.
Dufelt, aye.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you all.
Yep.
Stay safe,
care.
everyone.
Have a great
Stay
Stay safe,
You know,
guys.